Good morning. Good Wednesday morning. And welcome to day, what day is it? I have to look at my little notes. Day 6th, not 6th, 6 of 7 days of prayer to end Hoodoo Heritage Month. So good morning. We made it thus far. We have one more day to go. Give me a second because I'm getting myself together. I need to grab a lighter to light my candle. So give me 1 second. Right. Yes, so good morning. Good morning to those of you that joined. My name is Niambi, so thank you for joining. Today is day 6 of 7 days of prayer to close out Hoodoo Heritage Month. So we're going to get started. I am going to light a candle. I typically light a white candle during prayer, but I have a green candle and a blue candle. Green I often light when I'm doing prayers around either abundance or heart chakra, emotion, energy, and this blue one, it is a blue but maybe like a deepish bluish purple, and I will often light that when it is either around communication with that chakra, or the purple is for royalty, and today's focus is actually sanctity. And sanctity is the state or quality of being holy, right? And I love this for a day of focus for Hoodoo Heritage. Hold on 1 second. As you guys know, I drink warm lemon water in the morning because it's really early and my voice is raspy. So I need a sip of that, and I'm going to crack my window. We talked yesterday about safety. And when I talked about safety, I talked about spiritual hygiene and spiritually cleaning your space. I hope you guys could hear me. My volume was down. I just turned it up. But spiritually cleaning your space, and part of that is also when you open a window. That is it's an easy way to clean and clear your space. Give me 1 more second, because one of the prayers I'm going to pray today is going to be the 23rd Psalm, and I thought I had a Bible in here, but everything, a little bit of everywhere today. All right. So yes, like I said, oh no, I grabbed the wrong thing. This is my Bible. No Bible. Okay, I'm back. So, funny little thing. I didn't have a Bible in the room that I'm in, which is the room where I usually do, where I pray, where I, do my spiritual activity. But in my bedroom, I went and found a Bible, and I found this Bible. I don't know if you can see, that is inscribed with my first and my previous last name, my married name. And you may be wondering, what? She got an inscribed Bible? And this is the other Bible that I found. This is like show and tell time. I don't know if you can see how worn this Bible case is. It is worn. It is worn, as is this Bible. Can you see? This is my huge Woman Thou Art Loose Bible. You see, I have things falling out. Let's see where this is from. To Niambi. These symbolize holiness, salvation, and royalty. We salute your calling. So I am positive that this was a card that I received. Spirit is so hilarious. I'm positive that this is a card that I received in conjunction with some type of event when I was a deaconess. In a past life, I was a deaconess of a Baptist church, and I actually shared a live. Maybe I'll go back and reshare it. I don't know if it's still up on my page, but I shared a live basically talking about how I went from deaconess to hoodoo spiritist, because I had some questions of some people, that were trying to find their way when it came to hoodoo, when it came to spirituality. And they came from families of, really religious families that really could not understand their decisions, right, around spirituality, hoodoo, and all of those things, ancestor veneration. And so this Bible that I show with my married last name was my deaconess Bible. We each got one when we became deaconess. Small Bibles with our names inscribed on them. And the reason why this is so perfect for today's focus of sanctity is that holiness is not something that is ascribed to one belief system or another, one religion or another. I am a person that likes to look a word up. Again, doing this live makes me realize how much I rely on my phone, because I can't even Google that, but I'm going to ask my son to. Where are you going? So yeah, this morning is interesting because I'm back and forth and up and down, and we hadn't even started praying yet, and it's 7:24. I'm usually off by now, but my son is going to pull up the definition of holy for me, and I just want to read it. So this is interesting because now I'm here in this book, in this Bible, and I have all of these different things popping up. This was a bookmark that we made for one of our church programs, and on the back it has the books of the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So I'm going to take this as a sign from Spirit that I may need to be doing some reflection. So let's see. Baby looked up Holly. Okay, so let's just look really quickly so I give my son his phone back. So holy, dedicated or consecrated to God or a religious purpose. Sacred, the Holy Bible, right? So dedicated or consecrated to God. And even though this definition says or a religious purpose, I'm going to stay at dedicated or consecrated to God, and understanding, get out, Kai. My dog wanted to come in too. Understanding that holiness, right? So I was dedicated and consecrated to God when I was a member of a Baptist church. I was dedicated and consecrated to God when I led their praise dance ministry. I was dedicated and consecrated to God when I led the youth ministry, and I was dedicated and consecrated to God when I became a deaconess. And when my life and my walk shifted from organized religion and Christianity to hoodoo spiritist, I am still currently dedicated and consecrated to God, to the divine, to my creator, to my highest self, the highest version of myself, to my non-physical self, to the God that is within me. And so definitely want to lift that up because especially at this time of year, right? So Halloween is tomorrow. There are plenty of people that believe that it is a negative holiday or celebration or demonic or whatever. Those of us that are in the spirit realm or work in the spirit realm, move in the spirit realm, understand that yes, at this time of year, the veil is thin. And so sometimes it makes you wonder, like, which came first, the cart, the egg or the chicken, or you put the cart before the horse, in that the veil thinning, the connection to our dead, Day of the Dead. Our dead are not demonic, right? Our dead, our ancestors, our dead. I went to Mexico for my best friend's birthday, and we went and visited the Mayan ruins, and they talked to us about how the Mayans buried their dead in the bottom under their homes, right? Because death was just a portal to another dimension of life, but they didn't see them as something that should have been scary or something to put away. So even those of us that may go to cemeteries now, if we are going to commune with our dead, with the dead, that does not mean it's demonic, right? But these practices of communing with the dead, Day of the Dead, honoring the dead, came before the idea that this time of year was evil and demonic. So, sometimes we have to get the order together. Same thing with hoodoo. Hoodoo did not come out of Christianity. Our enslaved ancestors had to make an adjustment to African traditional religion and practices that they had on the continent before they were ripped away, brought over here, right? And then introduced to Christianity and Catholicism. And they had to find ways to incorporate those African traditional religions into this system so that they would not be killed, so that it could appear that they were being compliant, right? I just had a conversation with my son yesterday about, some things that's going on in school, and that at the end of the day, it's not to say that he's always wrong or the teachers are always right. No, at this stage and at this point, we're not dealing with right or wrong. We're dealing with, there is a system in which you spend a period of your time and you get to choose if you find a way to be within the structures of that system to avoid consequence. And so the consequence of not being within the confines of the structure of the school system is not as severe as the consequences of not being within the confines of the slavery system that our ancestors found themselves, that consequence was death. So as a result of it, they had to find ways to be compliant with that system to save their lives, right? So just knowing that when we think about sanctity, our practices, hoodoo, African traditional religion, are not demonic. They are not devil worshiping. They are not polytheistic. They are not any of the things that this society and this mainstream society is the word I was looking for, tends to put forth and put forward about our practices, right? Okay, so that was a good little way to get started. I'm drinking some more lemon water. Okay, so again today, I'm actually just going to pray one prayer. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to pray the other prayer tomorrow. So I'll be praying from Ancestors Path. I will be reading from Ancestors Said. And then I will also read the 23rd Psalm today. Before we start, as always, I invite you to find a comfortable way to be. Right? Holy Spirit, Divine Mother, Divine Father, Creator, I welcome you into this space this morning. I welcome you into my heart. I thank you for another opportunity to rise up, to share, to commune, to have thought, to pray, to express gratitude. Supreme Lord of Lords, Olodumare, Creator, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Ascended Masters, Ancestors, both known and unknown, I thank you. And I welcome you into my space, my heart, my day, my life. Appreciative for every moment, every opportunity, every breath, every memory, every reflection that you allow. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress to the spirit of Jacqueline Diane Blackman. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress to the spirit of Worley Blackman. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress to the spirit of John Blackman. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Helen McMichael. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Maggie McMichael. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Ernest McMichael. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Hattie McMichael. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Jasper McMichael. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Mary Blackman. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Arthur Blackman. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Sarah Goins. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Charles Goins. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Elvira Bolden. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Betty Duncan. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Amos Freeman. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Herbert Bolding. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Archie Goings. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Maddie Goings. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Kevin Sidney Nesta Harris. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Natasha Patricia Lewis. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Hannah Mason. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Melba Campbell. I pray a prayer of light, peace, and progress for the spirit of Rose Cosby. So today, on October 30th, Ancestor says, maybe the goal shouldn't be constant joy or happiness, but peace, a cool neutral, to experience life with a balanced center no matter what. Right? And then, let me see. I said I was going to pray the 23rd Psalm this morning. But I got my Bible. I wasn't sure. I actually thought it might have been an ancestor said. Okay. No, I'm going to read it from my Bible. So here we go. Even though I'm almost positive I know the 23rd Psalm, but we're just going to try not heathen. And we're going to keep it. Okay. So the 23rd Psalm, a Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen and Ashe. So I'm going to read really quickly. I said this was my Bible. This is my Woman Thou Art Loose Bible. And T.D. Jakes has these special pages. So this one is called The Restorer of Your Soul. It is no wonder that God can restore your soul, for he is the lover of the soul. He can mend the past, the present, and the future. He is the therapist that relieves trauma no matter how it has incurred. Perhaps you have been through a devastating moment. Maybe no one has been able to heal what has been hurt or fill what has been depleted. There are so many kinds of pain. Some of you have survived the loss of a parent. Some of you have lost children. Some have buried your sons or daughters who died untimely deaths. And sadly, some have watched the caskets of their little children lowered into the ground because of senseless accidents and violence. Some of you are grieving over the death of a relationship. You don't even understand why it died, but you are forced to accept something that you cannot explain. You have replayed the events like a jury reviews evidence, except that your deliberation is pointless. The chance to change the verdict is over. There were moments of rage that bordered on hatred, and then there were nights of loneliness and the deepest grief you've ever known. Some of you have seen adultery, the saboteur of trust, and the executioner of bonding. Some of you have walked into a room and seen an incident that was so shocking you relive it over and over again. It is one thing to be suspicious, but quite another to have a memory to contend with for the rest of your life. You dream about it and wake up in tears. It reruns before you like an old B movie that you have seen too many times before. Some of you are still injured over relationships that crumble before your eyes. Perhaps you have been haunted by one of these issues or some other crisis. Have you known what it is like to want someone to rescue you from the pain? Well, my dear, let me save you some precious time. Only the Lord can heal deep pain. It does not matter whether your pain comes from a brutal experience, a kept secret, a fractured promise, or some other disturbance. He is the Prince of Peace, and he rides into the worst situations on the wings of hope. His divine hand over you gives sense to these events that may seem meaningless. He knows how to orchestrate your pain and somehow bring a blessing out of a mess. He is the restorer of our souls. Good morning, Dr. James Etta. Yes, so that was a little excerpt from my Woman Thou Art Loose Bible that has these special pages that T.D. Jakes put into the Bible. And today's focus was sanctity. And so I was sharing about how divine spirit is because I decided that I was going to read the 23rd Psalm today, and I needed a Bible for it. It wasn't in Ancestors Path. And so the room I'm in is where, I usually do my spiritual studies or practices. And I did not have a Bible in here. So I had to go look in my bedroom for a Bible. And I found 2 Bibles from a previous season in my life. So one is engraved. That is my previous last name, my married last name. My last name now is Goings. And this one was a worn out Woman Thou Art Loose Bible. And so both of these were from the season of my life when I was a deaconess in a Baptist church up in New Jersey. And so I shared that I actually did a live a few months back titled How I Went from a Deaconess to a Hoodoo Spiritist. Because I had received some questions from friends that came from really deeply spiritual Christian backgrounds and whose family was having some struggles and difficulties with their decision to practice spirituality, practice hoodoo, and explore other options. So I was just saying, spirit always blows my mind, right? I'm a sucker for signs and synchronicity. And with today's focus being sanctity, and sanctity being the state or quality of being holy. And I had my son look up holy, and holy we defined as being committed and dedicated and consecrated to God. And so I was just sharing that in every season of my life, I am committed, dedicated, and consecrated to God. And holiness is not just reserved for the priest and the priestesses, or the priest and the popes and the church goers. I was holy when I was a deaconess. I was holy when I was in the Baptist church. I was holy before I got to the Baptist church, and I'm holy now as a hoodoo spiritist. My life in this work and this practice is still and always will be dedicated and consecrated to God. So that was the sharing this morning. I read the 23rd Psalm, and I will save this live. I'll probably see if I can clip it a little bit. There was a lot of bouncing around this morning. I had to go look for the Bibles. My son came to help me, and maybe not even that it was bouncing around. That happened exactly how it was supposed to happen, right? That the support that I needed, my son came, and I was just able to get the things that I needed. So I hope you all have an amazing Wednesday. Again, this was 7 days of prayer to close out Hoodoo Heritage Month. So tomorrow, October 31st, will be our last day. I will come, we will pray, we will venerate, I will see what Spirit wants to do. As always, the veil is thin at this time of year. Talk to your people, spend time with your people, sit at your people's feet. They want to hear from you, and they have something to say. All right? Have a good one.